Deep School All Division Preview.
And we're back. It's your guy Jetty Kane, and I'm here with my guy Ink Spot.
Egg spot off the 307.
Yeah, so like the board said, we're gonna review the Deets Pool Hall division first, and I'm gonna start with the runner-up. Get a T.O. Baby, coached by Tyler Olivier. I always think that he has a good draft. Doing research in the last 3-4 years on this coach, his drafts are usually great. The question is, can he get over that hump? So starting off with this year, he had the #1 rated draft yet again. So expectations are always championship or bust for this guy, obviously. So I want to talk about the Le'Veon Bell situation, being that it was his first pick, and I know that he hasn't reported to camp yet. So obviously Le'Veon Bell is arguably the best player in the NFL. Let's just keep it 100. But the lack of Le'Veon Bell on the fantasy football team raises eyebrows all over the league, obviously. So I also want to talk about the Keenan Allen pick. Me knowing Coach and having interviews with Coach, I know he probably wanted to go running back in that segment, but I was impressed with his poise by taking the best receiver available, being that the number 15 player in the draft dropped all the way down to him. So I really like that pick. I also like the Rice Freeman pick. I think that guy is really going to excel in the Denver offense now with Case Keenum being over there. He likes to throw it. We saw Case Keenum at Houston. He was Mr. 5,000 over there. So rounding out that, I think the question mark of his team is which Allen Robinson he's going to get. That can be a pick that separates him from the rest of the division, or put him in the middle of the pack. I don't think that he reached for Allen Robinson. However, Allen Robinson is coming off of a very, very big injury, so we're excited to see what Get a T.O. Baby got going on. Please. So, segueing into my guy, Ink Spot, he's going to go ahead and talk about First Street Dynasty, coached by Mr. Carlos Brooks. It's to you, Cal.
All right. First, we're going to talk about First Street Dynasty. I kind of like the draft that he had, being that he ended up with Ezekiel Elliott and Christian McCaffrey. That definitely gives him a dynamic in that division. Question mark to me, in his draft, he ended up taking 3 quarterbacks. That was kind of eyebrow raising, but maybe this guy knows something I don't. I like that he was waiting on Carson Wentz for latter of the season. I understand that. But 3 of them can be pretty heavy. Moving on, I kind of think the Trey Burton pick will be a big pick for him this year. A lot of people expecting him to at least get 1,000 yards receiving. So I think that would be a big pickup for him.
Hang on for a second.
Headed quarterback.
Right.
Why?
Moving on to Mr. Julian Washington, Coach Julian Washington of Russell and Flo. Obviously, his name is Russell and Flo, so we're going to talk about Russell Wilson first. Russell is Russell. Russell's going to give you what he's going to give you. He's going to be a top 5 quarterback in fantasy every year in, every year out. So I think that's a very solid pick. Being that I just said solid, I think that his whole draft was solid in totality. I also like the I also like the Rex Burkhead pick that he when he picked him. I don't think he reached for him, but I think that Rex Burkhead will have a workload when he returns to the New England Patriots. Obviously, Belichick loves him. Obviously, Tom Brady loves him. Obviously, New England loves him. So, I also segueing into and going back to Coach Julian last year, coming into this year, I think he ended last year on a very, very good note. I thought that he was I thought he turned his team around mid-season, even though he had injuries. So we like his momentum going into this season with Antonio Brown as the head guy in charge. The pick that's kind of shaky to me, for some reason, I don't really believe Adam Thielen is a sole number one in the NFL and in fantasy football league. I think he could be a low end number one at times, but being that he has Antonio Brown, that's going to cover up the Thielen's questions because I think Kirk Cousins is going to feed Stephon Diggs. Back to Ink Spot with, I'm sorry, Nino Brown, man, wrestling. So back to Ink Spot, reviewing Coach Ernest Darnell and the Wide Street Bullies.
Oh yeah, all right. We'll get to the Wide Street Bullies. I think he really had a better draft from last year. He ended up with some solid spots in Fournette, Watson, Hopkins, which is the connection with Watson. Big play capability of Tyreek Hill, everybody knows. And the Jaguars defense, who scored a lot of points last year. I think that would be his core of his team. A few question marks I have about his team was the RB2 selection that he has going right now, which is Tevin Coleman. Not saying that he's a bad pick, just saying that it's not much opportunity there. Another one was one of his flex spots with Ted Ginn. I mean, everybody watches New Orleans offense, and they know that it's heavy Kamara, Michael Thomas. Not saying that Ted Ginn won't try to blow the top off the defense, but the opportunity for that is really hit or miss, so to speak. So he's kind of a boom or bust play to us. And last but not least, he got Eric Ebron. He's the number 2 tight end in a situation that the number 1 tight end is kind of a question mark or maybe a head scratch. You know, why is he kind of sold on this guy with Kyle Rudolph just laying around on your bench? But that's still to be seen.
We like to call him flexing in.
And that's gonna wrap up the Beats Pool Hall division. But before we go, I want us to let's make our picks on who's gonna win the division.
I like that.
So we'll start with you, Archie.
I think for the Beats Pool Hall division, I think for get a T.O. baby is gonna depend on Le'Veon Bell. If Le'Veon Bell's there, I think he's out front in that division. Like he was last year. If not, I honestly think First Street Dynasty can make a push forward with his running backs. And it might end up something like First Street Dynasty, the real 5-7, get a T.O. baby.
And your picks, Ink Spot, for the Deep Pool Hall division. Who's going to take it home? Let me know.
I honestly had to say who I think would take that division home. Kind of leaning towards the running back situation with First Street Dynasty. I see Ezekiel Elliott, Christian McCaffrey. He has a Trey Burton over there, and There's another guy I'm leaving out. Just give me a second. He has another guy. He's real powerful to say the least. Now, what his guys does when they show up on the field, that's still to be seen. But if I had to pull a front runner, I would say First Street Dynasty. Oh, he also has a additional number 1 running back in Joe Mixon. I think he can really have a breakout year this year. And he has Kurt, my cousin, favorite target, Stephon Diggs.
Right. So my pick, I like First Street Dynasty. I think that the Amari Cooper pick is gonna be warranted. I think that he's gonna have another. I don't think he'll have a bad year, but I think he's gonna have a solid year. He's gonna probably brush 1,000, but I think he's gonna have more touchdowns now that Michael Crabtree is gone. As the favorite going in, looking at teams on paper, I definitely think Get a T.O. Baby has every tool to take everything. But my dark horse for the division, I think Wide Street Bullies is scary good. I know the Ted Ginn flex thing is still to be seen, but I think he has players on his bench that can be subbed into that position if that guy does that. And just giving advice. But the Deshaun Watson, DeAndre Hopkins connection can be very, very explosive. I think so. I also like the fact that he has Tyreek Hill and Larry Fitzgerald. Larry Fitzgerald, a lot of people be scared to draft Larry because you don't know when he's going to have that drop-off year, but Larry continues to be Larry, which is one of the best receivers of all time. So, with that being said, being that Get a T.O. Baby is the favorite, First Street Dynasty is very, very likable. I'm going with Wide Street Bullies.
I said a lot about back the ink spot. I said a lot about First Street Dynasties, but there's still some question marks. So, if I had to pick a favorite, I would say it probably would be Russell and Flo. I think.
What you like most about Russell and Flo's team?
What I like most about it is, no, he doesn't have a connection, which most teams has. But what he does has is a lot, and I mean a lot, of opportunity. What I mean by that, he has Travis Kelce. We all know what he's capable of doing. On top of that, he has the number 1 receiver in all fantasy football. And look.
Yeah. Technical difficulties. Back to Archie.
I think where he's going is that there is a lot of talent on Russell and Flo. And there's a pretty good coach over there. You got to think this was a coach who finished the season extremely hot. He had the 2nd longest winning streak in the league. So he got the talent and he know how to coach them. So they could be dangerous.
I agree. But I'm going with Wide Street Bullies. Since y'all want to pick the favorite, I'm going with Wide Street Bullies. I feel like he's just going, being that he came in last year, Coach Ernest, Coach Darnell, I feel like he's in revenge season. I feel like he has a lot to prove. I don't really think he's on a hot seat just yet. It's early. But
he made some bad decisions last year.
Terrible decisions.
So that's pretty bold. You go from the worst team in the league to being a division champ. So I think prediction.
I think
that's what predictions are.
Yep. And I like to make bold ones, man. So I'm going with Wide Street Bullies on that one. Allegedly. Yeah. So closing out the Deep Pool Hall division, that's our picks. I'm Jetty Kane. This is Archie Knucklehead. And this is my guy, Ink
Spot from the
307.
Yes, sir.
We'll be back with the preview of the Cliffs Lounge divisions real shortly.